Other members of the Board of Trustees that are here, National Working Committee members that are also here, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Before I go to the text of my message today, let us, in a few moments, reflect of what is currently going on in our country today. And that will lead us to, or lead me to give you very little story that I believe that will help in one way or the other. And that story is just about the creation of man. And you are aware that God created virtually everything. He created the earth, and He created the heavens, and He created all the beautiful things, the environment, the trees and the plants and the fishes and the animals. And suddenly He realized that there was nobody to take charge, because He's God. He cannot be seen. It's residing in heaven. And that made Him to say, look, the need to create the manager for the environment, the earth that He has created. And that person will be in charge. And He went ahead to create human beings, basically to take charge of the environment and to manage. Among other reasons for the creation of man, the one significant reason is that man was given charge to take charge of the environment. And the essence is that by the creation of God, man is a manager. It's a short story. And I believe that, I'm convinced that if you manage your environment, whatever situation you find yourself, you manage very well. Of course, the people will see it. And they will give you applause. Whatever you fail to manage, you will lose it. And it can start from us. If you fail to manage your home very well, you lose your home. You fail to manage your children, you lose your children. You fail to manage your resources, you lose your resources. It's a huge responsibility. Not only for the leaders, but also the people. Because if you don't manage your wife well, you lose your wife. If you don't manage your husband very well, you lose your husband. And so the essence of all this is about management. And by the special grace of God, you can see what is going on in our country today. They have failed to manage the country well, and they are losing it. The media is the fourth realm of the society. And the media plays critical roles, either during the war or peace, or in democracy or otherwise. It is important that the watchdog of the society must rise up to their responsibilities. If not, we are all living in one society, and the media is part of it. And apart from discharging their professional skill and responsibilities, they must check the excesses of government. If they don't, the society will go down. Let me welcome you all for this interaction and for us to look at the state of our nation together and to also review the leadership of our party in the last 3 years. Today marks exactly the 3 years that I and my colleagues in the National Working Committee were given the mandate to preside over the affairs of this great party. What we met on ground. It has been 36 months of ups and downs, you will agree with me. But I am proud to report that the party is not at the level where we met it. We took over the party when it was still trying to come out of the trauma of losing election and being in opposition for 2 years under an intolerant ruling party, the APC. We met a psychologically traumatized party struggling to adjust to opposing life after 16 years in power. Not too easy. We inherited a party that had issues with internal democracy. Delegates were not having the final say on who flies the flag of the party in an election. Names of winners were randomly and blatantly changed at our headquarters at Abuja with disregard to the people and the requirement of our constitution written by us. Our message. The delegates of our party across the country had given us the mandate to lead, believing in our rebranding campaign message of 3 R's, if you recall. Number 1, reposition the party. Number 2, rebuild the party. And number 3, regain the lost ground, possibly regain power, which were designed to recreate and rebrand the party. We quickly hit the ground running in our reform policy. We organized a rebranding conference and embarked on extensive consultations across the country. Our sensitization program took us to rallies in all geopolitical zones, 6 of them. By the time our reform program came on stream, the party had become an attractive brand to accommodate the influx of new members that include the entire leadership of the 2 chambers of the National Assembly then, the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, others members of the Parliament at the federal and state levels, as well as 3 incumbent state governors of Benue, Kwara, and Sokoto, who also joined us. This was immediately after we resumed. It was in December 2017, and thereafter from January 2018, and our brothers came over after our rebranding the party. Internal democracy. As we approach the general election of 2019, our party was already the party to beat. The internal democracy promise in our reform package was already in place within a space of 1 year. Powers were effectively decentralized to flow from the people. One of the greatest responsibilities of the current working committee when we took over was to allow responsibilities and powers to go to the grassroots. Party tickets were gotten at the Congress venue, not at party headquarters of state and national levels. Popular and more acceptable candidates emerged at state congresses and national convention. A national convention in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, in the month of October 2018 became the first of its kind in Nigeria. It was so transparent that there was no complaint from anybody, even among the contestants. Instead, all the contestants resolved to support the winner. All this helped to engender confidence and trust in our leadership. 2019 national campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, our leaders that are here, this ceremony is a low key, bearing in mind the situation we find ourselves in the country. The country is undergoing pain and hunger. There was no need to do elaborate celebration. And that's why we've gathered, not even allowing our people to travel far and near. But one thing that we forgot, we would have done the Zoom so that quite a number of people would have hooked to live on this. I'm quite sure those who are on live social media will be able to also broadcast this live so that our people can see this program. 2019 national campaign. Nigerians had earlier realized their mistakes of 2015 and also accepted our apology for any shortcoming. We carried out one of the most effective campaigns, going to the people with issue-based messages, not propaganda. Nigerians accepted these messages and were ready and charged to vote out the APC, whose incompetence and incapacity to govern had become apparent. But what Nigerians never envisaged was that the APC and President Muhammadu Buhari, who came to power through a transparent and credible election, was not going to conduct free and fair election in 2019. As a prelude to their agenda of holding on to power when it was obvious that Nigerians did not want them, all institutions of democracy, the legislature, the judiciary, the opposition, and the media inclusive, were made targets of intimidation and harassment. You all could recall the shocking and unprecedented unilateral removal of the Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Walter Onnoghen. You also recall that midnight attack and arrest of some judges and justices by security operatives of states in the name of fighting corruption. The media leaders, you can see now the difference between the past and the current, whether they are fighting corruption. This is the business of the media to bring this to light. We all are witnesses to the intimidation meted out to the parliament. How the then Senate President, Bukola Saraki, was subjected to all kinds of harassment, and how the mess, the symbol of the Senate, was stolen in a broad daylight, and how the entrance to the National Assembly was blocked by masked security operatives to prevent members going in. We saw how security men were deployed to help the ruling party have an advantage over other parties in the elections. It is for the media to come out with what happened last year and part of this year, because it has never happened in the history of our country before in democracy. Our record of performance, notwithstanding PDP under my leadership, had through its reform package and packages significantly enhanced the image and status of the party. All over the country, the party remains the bride. States under the party control rose from 11 to 16, and it could have been more if not for the shameless ambush of the APC in Osun State, in Kano, in Kogi, and even in Imo, unheard of, what has never happened before in the history of our country, from First Republic to Second Republic and to Third Republic and Fourth. We can all see for ourselves. Internally, the party has also used its in-house means to resolve issues, making the right party, the PDP, the right party to belong in this country today. Nothing supports this assertion more than that after 5.5 years, the ruling APC, instead of trying to put their tattered house in order, is busy begging and coercing our members and other members of the society to join them with fake and unrealistic promises. They have left governance, and all they are doing now is running from pillar to post to see who to poach. The main issue of governance in terms of security and the economy of our country is left unattended to. And so what is important to APC now is running from pillar to post, coercing if necessary, and then trying to poach other party members from other political parties and running around the country. And I'm quite sure that you all are aware that the Villa and the APC are on bed, they are sleeping. At the risk of being seen as blowing our trumpet, it is necessary to note that this NWC is a first in transparency and accountability in the history of our party. The first to function effectively for 3 years without any scandal or dent of corruption. It is to the public knowledge that this NWC is clean and with a clean hands. The first also to successfully render accounts of its monetary expenditures to both NEC, National Executive Council of our party, and to INEC as statutorily required of us to do audited accounts on a yearly basis. Our governor's performance. Another thing that helped us at a party while in the opposition is the exceptional performance of PDP governors. And you can attest to this. Throughout all the PDP control states, there's glaring evidence of delivery of democracy, dividends. This has helped to engender confidence in the party about democracy. APC performance in this area of delivering democracy benefits at the federal and the state level has been awful and demoralizing. There's nothing to talk about because you are aware that one bag of rice today is how much? 40,000. And dollar exchange rate is 500 to naira, 500 naira to $1. There's nothing more demoralizing than the situation we find ourselves. Upon it, every day you hear about farmers being killed and murdered in their numbers, bandits, terrorists across the country. And so we are very proud of the performances of our governors, and Nigerians are also happy with them. You can see projects, and of a truth, the PDP governors are the reason for the sustenance of democracy in Nigeria, because you can see what they are doing and the structures they are putting in place in their various states for the benefit of their people. And we are very proud of them. We're also proud of our leaders, the BOT, the state chairmen across the 36 states and FCT. We're proud of them. They stood their ground in all elections. We're happy with our supporters across the board. And we thank them and congratulate them because they are the very reason why we're here, because they gave us the mandate. And we're very, very happy and proud of our supporters and members across this country. The BOT, the NEC, the Governors Forum of PDP, our leaders, our women, our youths. We are very proud of all of them. The 2023 and the state of the nation. I know you, the media, you are interested in the issue of zoning. But our party has clear methods of doing things. After the general election, we set up a panel to study and appraise our performance and make necessary recommendations. The governor of Bauchi State, His Excellency Alhaji Bala Mohammed, is heading the committee, and they are still working. We did the same when we lost the election in 2015, when that committee was headed by Senator Ike Kuremadu to look into why we lost. It was from that report that the party took action towards the 2019. The same way this time, we must study our last outing before looking ahead, a kind of post-mortem. We can't be talking of zoning when we have not appraised how we fared in the last election. Moreover, the state of the nation today is such that politics or anything concerning 2023 of 3 years away should take backstage. Nigeria is in a comatose stage today where APC brought it. That should be a major concern, because our people are dying. Either they are being killed or they are dying of hunger because of the economic hardship. Everything in the country is upside down. All the insecurity. That should be our major concern, and the concern of the watchdogs. President Muhammad Buhari, who was scheduled to address the National Assembly, our nation parliament today, backed out after confirming to them that he was coming. This back and front from the president on vital issue as security that is overwhelming our nation underscores our position as an opposition party that nobody is in charge, and that this is a broken government. The center point today is that we have a broken government, that nobody is in charge. You can imagine president with full commitment given to National Assembly that he will come and address them. 24 hours, he backed out. Disregarding the nation's parliament is disregarding Nigeria as a whole, because they are representatives. Of the people. The truth, which is worrisome, is that either the president does not know what is happening, or he does not know what to do otherwise. He should not be afraid. He should not be afraid to face the people. What is going on today in the country? You were elected at the same time the National Assembly members were elected. And they owe Nigeria that responsibility, the executive arm and the legislative arm, to make sure that they make laws and work for Nigerians. But as you can see, we have a broken government. It is time for us, especially the media executive and publishers, to look critically what is going on in our country. Look at Ghana today. They conducted free and fair election. They come out of it. What is going on there? And what is also going on here? It is time for us to rise to the occasion and to speak the simple truth. You won't die. The simple truth. How on earth will the president promise the National Assembly to address them on critical issues, especially the security. And he failed to do so for politics. The life of Nigerians no longer matters. Farmers are killed, their very farms, land. By the special grace of God, our next year is going to be great. We've lined up several programs that will take us to the end of next year, starting from January, especially the e-registration exercise to allow our youths, engage our youths. And I mean, our youths are the future leaders of our country. This is the only country that does not prepare the youths. But for PDP, we can see that you can't do without the youths. We cannot do without the youths because they are the future leaders of our country. Our objective and our agenda is quite different from APC. You know, even in government, most of the leaders of APC are of a generation that don't want to think about the future of our country. The future belongs to the youths who are very energetic, very highly intelligent and innovative. And most of them had achieved a lot of success in their various fields, and they needed to be encouraged. We are the party for the youths, and we are the party that are ready for the future of our country. We will take several steps by next year, starting from January, to make sure that our offices are digitalized in such a way that we will be at par with the latest technology in order to work for our people. Because the PDP represents the people of our nation, not for few. It will be all inclusive. And today, we're happy that in 3 years, we're able to achieve and put our party in the right path, the path to victory. By the grace of God, our leaders at the grassroots, which will be our emphasis from next year, will expand by accommodating those who even will come from other political parties and joined. You all know what happened in Edo State. You can't fool the people all the times. You can fool the people some of the times, but you can't fool the people all the time. And by the grace of God, this party belongs not only for the leadership of our party, but this party belongs to all of you, all our people. This is the only party where you don't have a national leader, the party where you don't have owners. This party belongs to the grassroots. Everybody subscribes to it as owners of the party. With all humility and by the grace of God, on the behalf of the leadership of our party, we want to thank you all for coming for this brief ceremony, which is a quiet one, because of the situation we find ourselves in the country. We want to thank you for coming, our leaders, our members of the media. It is time for you to report the truth, because that is the only thing that can save our nation. The truth will save our nation, not propaganda. Thank you, and God bless all of you. Thank you. They are running around, but they've not been successful. They've not been successful at all. And I believe that what should bother them most should be governance. One, the security. Two, the economy. And as you know, and you are aware, all that is broken down. And so the issue is just to mention that stop running up and down. They've not really been successful on it. And face the reason why the people gave you mandate to govern. And if you do that, there will be no security issue, there will be no economic issue of hunger. I think this is most important as media executives. On the issue of the former president, clearly my report, I stand by that report that the Bala Committee is still working, coming out with reports of why we lost, and by the time they will finish, we will take decisions. And decision is not for working committee, but the entirety of our party. And I believe that whoever is interested when 2023 will come, maybe including the former president, the chances are that the PDP is a party of all. Everybody will have that opportunity. But in a clear terms, no, we have not taken any decision to give anybody ticket for now. You can't be talking about ticket when the country is in a terrible bad shape. I think we should face that fact first and press on the people in government to do better, to secure us, and then better economic agenda for the good of the people. I think that is what I'm talking about. We are not going to talk about who will get the ticket now or who will not get the ticket now. Yes, another question. I believe in constructive criticism. We are not a party of propaganda. The APC believes in propaganda, but we believe in our agenda must be very constructive. You are also aware that the caucus in the House of Representatives moved a motion. And please, can you find out those who killed that motion of impeachment? And you're also aware that the National Public Secretary spoke on behalf of the leadership to back the decision of our members in the House of Representatives. So, those who have lost their life in the struggle of our country, especially those that have been killed at the farm. We're all Nigerians. We all have parents who are farmers. We all have brothers who are farmers. In one way or the other, they have been killed. May we observe 1 minute silence for them. May their soul rest in perfect peace. And amen. Well,